Spider-Man 1 is perfect, if viewed properly. What you've just seen are a collection of shots ripped from the 35mm film scan open matte version of Sam Raimi's Golden Plaque, which means the image is almost without crop and remastering. As opposed to the Blu-ray version of the film, the visuals as straight off the tungsten Kodak are incredibly vibrant and pleasant, with warm orange sunlight, saturated skin tones, and captivating blues. This accentuation of opposing colors, warm and cold, resembles Spider-Man's color scheme. I couldn't find any information to confirm the cinematographic decision was intentional, but it certainly wouldn't be a stretch to imagine considering the expertise of the people involved. On a different note, the change in vibrance and look benefits Sam Raimi's more over-the-top directorial quirks not, as they perhaps would have in the Blu-ray if it digested as misfits. His matchup of spin transitions, masking shots, and vibrant atmosphere create a consistent and complementary aesthetic. As a conclusive result, the web-slinger's first picture starts looking awfully familiar. As a die-hard Spider-Man fan, my most appreciated part of the film scan is its stronger resemblance to the original source material. Even though the movie unfortunately doesn't credit it, the Ultimate Spider-Man is its biggest inspiration. With the film ripping the majority of its first half right out of the shiny page, Mark Bagley's influence is easily observed on the pulpy grain of its film reel. The mixture of a more punchy color palette and the accentuations of certain scenes through maximizing warmth or coolness are all present in both Raimi's and Bagley's adaptation of the web-slinger's timeless origin. This loyalty to its printed origins elevates the appreciation offered by enthusiasts of the character, as they can more easily identify the sources used by the creative team and therefore understand their creation better. Reflecting the tone of the Ultimate Universe, the first half of the film is quite grim and only begins to lighten up at its midpoint.
Who is Spider-Man?
Here the webhead's adventures shift toward the direction of his earliest history, the Stan Lee and Steve Ditko run. Back in the 60s, comics lived up to their name much more successfully than they do now, as they presented a fantastical reality with a generally upbringing tone. With a few exceptions, the end half of the movie adopts this tone alongside numerous elements ripped straight off the vintage inking. Most notably so, Peter's passion for photography, and in turn the legendary presence of JJJ,
Get out of here!
plus the Goblin's unchanged physicality as opposed to Ultimate's monstrosity. It's quite the amazing feat to mix and match so many minute elements from two different source materials and still come out with an impressive story. Raimi's Spider-Man manages to stand its own ground while also proving its respect to previous iterations. This strikes me as what every adaptation should struggle to achieve. As a technical side note, the film was shot on 35mm Kodak Vision 1-200T. This film stock is quite popular within Hollywood productions, serving as image for Casino Royale, The Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, Gladiator and numerous others, but its characteristics only become clear preluding a remaster. Looking at these samples, the characteristics become clear, golden with strong blues. Perhaps the most striking difference between the film scan and the Blu-ray is the open matte, meaning the image is uncropped. This shifts the aspect ratio from 1:8:7:1 to 1.15:1. As this version was never meant for viewing, the taller visual spectrum reveals numerous set props and gear, such as microphones, sunshades and blocking tape, but I honestly don't think this detracts from enjoyment. So, is this version only for comic book fans? Certainly not, as there are numerous aspects to be appreciated in terms of cinema and art as a whole, such as how the film tends to look like a period piece at times, specifically when the grainy pre-remastered aesthetic synergizes with elements of the frame. Like in the shot of Norman's funeral, where due to lack of any modern objects in sight, it almost feels like a scene from The Godfather back in the 70s. As Josh Brolin stated about Dune, the blend between height and accessibility becomes clearer here as you modify an extremely mainstream piece into an almost indie-like feel. Juxtaposing the generally cheerful visuals, scenes of emotional impact receive a boost in shock, just as you wouldn't expect a silly colorful comic book to provide any valuable contour of the human condition. Commonly praised for such an impact is the 3-issue arc of If This Be My Destiny, often considered the greatest Spider-Man story ever told. As you're admiring the fresh and beautiful cinematography, you naturally tend to notice details you've been blind to before, like how MJ's gestures express how she liked Peter from the very beginning, the Daily Bugle truck passing in front of Midtown High, Jonah's pills for anger management, Peter's blood as he loses grip of the children, and Jonah's political activism suspenders. The connection between viewer and creator strengthens as you start to realize the boundaryless of passion and love for the artist's own craft and how we own this viewing and enjoyment to them. Thus, I doubt the movie will ever feel dated, but will rather solidify itself as a timeless teenage adventure and coming-of-age story, filled with love and responsibility. The dated VFX are now easily forgiven, as the film no longer feels the obligation to have a modern looking image. I guess it's the case of refilling nostalgia for us who grew up with Tobey Maguire's quips and tears, Danny Elfman's gripping brass, and Willem Dafoe's career-defining performance.
What?
With so much more to mention, this has been my analysis. You watching this at home, I hope I've reflamed your love for this movie and perhaps motivated you to give it a rewatch in this form. I believe this to be the greatest Spider-Man movie to date, since it lives up to its source material the best. If you love the Gular Webhead, pick up a comic. Trust me, you'll love it.